Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Diana. Thanks so much for joining me. If it's not your first time here, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all of your support and subscribing to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the World Cup, which I feel like everybody of course is talking about, and I want to talk about my experience in Germany being here for the World Cup. Now I gotta say I had really big expectations for the World Cup and all the parties that there were gonna be and all the celebration, and I gotta say I'm a little disappointed. It's not like I pictured it at all. Now, I had these expectations because Germany is known to be one of the best teams consistently throughout many years. They've won World Cups in the past, so I thought that the energy here was gonna be super, super high, and it was gonna be like this crazy party for a whole month, and it really hasn't been that way at all. Now, I'm gonna give you just a bit of background so you understand where I'm coming from. I'm from Toronto, and during the World Cup, it is insane over there. Everybody has their flags on their cars. Toronto is a very multicultural city, so everybody is not technically from Canada. Everybody's from a different country. I, for instance, I'm born in Toronto, but my family is Colombian, so we have Colombian flags on our car. Everybody has their own nation that they support. And naturally, I thought coming to Germany, everybody would have the same sort of spirit going on here, with the exception that, of course, everybody would have German flags on their cars or outside of their windows. And I just thought it was gonna be the exact same, but except everything was gonna be Germified. Germified? Germanified? I don't know. It was gonna be all about Germany. I don't know what the word is, but it hasn't been like that. And I've gotten to talk to some people because I'm quite curious as to why the energy is not like this. And I think I've come to some conclusions as to why Germans are a bit more chill when it comes to the World Cup. If you guys have your thoughts, leave them down below. I'm very curious about this, but based on what I've had a chance to talk to people about, essentially Germans are a bit hesitant to be very patriotic and very prideful about their country given its dark past. So throughout being in school, children are taught to be very shameful of their past, and they kind of harbor that throughout their whole adulthood, and it's just something that's ingrained into them. So based on what I've learned, they're very, very hesitant about being super patriotic and putting flags all over the place, and they carry the shame with them throughout their whole life. So that's something that is very, very new to me. I didn't know anything about this. Obviously we know the dark history, but I didn't know at least that even children who weren't around during that time obviously still hold this sort of shame within them. So that's quite interesting to me. Another thing that I've noticed is that people don't really place importance in the earlier game. So if it's, the first group that they're playing, it's not really a big deal. People have said, oh yeah, you know what, like, it's not an important game, this doesn't really matter. So maybe the excitement will build on if Germany goes on to the next rounds, but at least for the first group and the first game that I watched, which was the Mexico game, really, there was like no excitement, and obviously they lost, so the energy was totally low. But even when I went outside, yes, people were sitting down watching the game, but it wasn't like this huge party, and again, there wasn't like all of this buzz going on. And I was in a pretty poppin' area that's usually really busy in Berlin, and it just wasn't like that at all. So I noticed that they just don't take these first games seriously. So we'll see if this actually changes throughout the rest of the World Cup. And then the last thing that I've also noticed, or at least that, it seems like that Germany doesn't really put that much pressure on their players to perform well. I've spoken to some people, and they kind of, they don't really care if like the players don't do that well. They don't bash their players if they perform shitty. and they don't seem to boost their players up either. So even if there's, you know, a really famous player, they're not like boosting it, oh yeah, this person's the best, they're amazing. They're very, very relaxed about this, and it's totally the opposite. My boyfriend is a huge Portugal fan and he loves Ronaldo, and he's always like boosting Ronaldo, and obviously I root for Colombia and I'm always like, yeah, James is the best and blah, 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 blah. I'm not a football expert, or that's like the extent of my knowledge, but I've noticed that like Germans are just not as passionate about their players, so I think that definitely plays into the whole atmosphere and the whole environment. So yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on this because I expected this huge party. I wanted to go out and like cheer and yell goal. I don't know how you guys do it here. What do Germans say? In Spanish, we always say gol de Colombia. And it's like a huge party. Everybody's cheering, honking, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it'll change if Germany actually scores, which I hope they do in the next game. We'll see what happens. But let me know your thoughts, and I hope that the energy builds up, and I obviously hope that Germany moves on to the next rounds because I think it would be amazing to experience and I want to see what happens. But again, if you guys want to share your thoughts down below, tell me why the energy is so low here. Let me know. I'm very, very curious. Here costa los abonneer, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Tschüss!